Hey everyone, today I want to talk about something that hits close to home for many of us, especially in our teens and 20s. It is figuring out your career path. I have been there completely lost, bouncing between ideas, wondering what on earth I was supposed to do with my life. When I was younger, I got caught up in the idea of getting rich quick, not just in investments, but in life choices too. I thought if I just found that one perfect career, all my problems would be solved. Turns out, life and careers are a lot more like investing than I thought. It is not about one big score, but about consistent, smart choices and learning from every misstep. A lot of you have asked me to talk about this, and I get it. We all feel this massive pressure in our 20s to have everything figured out. You see your friends. One is in finance, another in tech, someone is chasing medicine or law, and then there is you, working a part-time job, hopping between interests, not sure what your long-term path is. And let me tell you, that is perfectly normal. Most people in their teens and 20s feel lost. They just do not always admit it. I know I certainly did not. I was trying to project an image of having it all together while secretly panicking about my future. The world we live in makes it even more confusing. Social media constantly amplifies success stories. You see that 22-year-old entrepreneur buying a Lamborghini, living in a high-rise, or the 25-year-old with a fancy job, a house, a family, and career stability. What you do not see is the vast majority of people your age who are still experimenting, failing, switching careers, or simply trying to get by paycheck to paycheck. This comparison trap makes you feel like you are behind, when in reality you are on the normal path that most people walk. I fell into this trap hard, not just with careers, but with investments too. I saw others making quick money and thought I was missing out, leading me down some very expensive rabbit holes. There is also this unspoken pressure to have your career all figured out by 18 or 22 right after college. But the truth is, most people do not. Most people change jobs, switch industries, and sometimes even reinvent themselves completely. And that is normal. Your 20s are not about nailing the perfect lifelong career. They are about exploring. It is like when I first started investing, I thought I needed to pick the one perfect stock or strategy. Instead, I should have been exploring different asset classes, understanding market dynamics, and learning about risk management. The same applies to your career. So instead of asking yourself, what is my dream job? Try asking, what skills or things do I actually enjoy building or doing? That mindset will take you a lot further and really narrow down your path. I realized this after losing a significant chunk of my savings. I was chasing dreams of instant wealth, not building the fundamental skills that actually lead to long-term financial security. I think the first thing when it comes to finding your career or figuring out how to grow in it is really understanding the importance of different skills. What I mean by this is instead of obsessing over finding the one perfect career, think about skills, right? Think about skills as a bucket, a skill stack. Every single job or project that you work on is going to teach you a new skill that you can transfer. It can be communication, problem solving, leadership, negotiation. These are tools that you can carry into any single job or any single industry that you might find yourself in. I learned this the hard way with my investment journey. I was so focused on finding the next hot stock that I neglected to build skills like critical thinking, research, and emotional control, which are absolutely vital in managing money. So we need to work on skills that work everywhere. Take real estate as an example. Real estate involves sales. It involves networking, and it involves communication on a high level. Those same skills, if you can really hone in on them, they can make you successful in business, corporate roles, or entrepreneurship. So instead of chasing the one perfect job, chase the skills that are going to give you leverage no matter what you end up doing. Most of the time, these end up being those soft skills like leadership or teamwork or public speaking if you are really lost and you do not know what path to take. My best advice I can give you right now is to stop worrying about the perfect title or career. Just focus on building those skills, because skills are the real currency in today's world. You might not know if you want to be in real estate or tech or finance or marketing, but if you are building skills like sales, communication, problem solving, negotiation, or even learning some technical skills, you are making yourself valuable no matter what career path you go down or what industry you end up in. It is like building a diverse portfolio. You might not know which asset class will perform best in the short term, but by diversifying and building a solid foundation, you are preparing yourself for long-term success. Skills are like the tools in your backpack. The more you can collect, the more doors you open. Even if you do not know where you are headed right now, having those skills ready means that when the opportunity shows up, you are prepared. I wish I had understood this earlier in my investment journey. Instead of chasing quick wins, I should have been building my understanding of market fundamentals, risk assessment, and long-term planning. Those are the skills that genuinely lead to lasting financial well-being. Now that we have gone over skills, the next most important thing is having a discovery phase. A lot of young people mess this up because when you are knee-deep in the discovery phase, you are probably not making a lot of money, and a lot of people want to focus on income only rather than actually discovering new things they enjoy. The reason you are probably not making a lot of money in the discovery phase is because you are trying so many different things. But we all need a discovery phase because it is where we give ourselves permission to try new things to explore. And most importantly, to make mistakes that we learn from. You are not supposed to magically know your calling at 19 or 22. Your 20s are a time to test different interests. Test new internships, side hustles, or even hop around from industry to industry to see what really sparks your interest. Most people end up going through this. Think about people you know. Think about your parents. Think about your grandparents. Most people do not stick with the first job they get at 16, 17, or 18. They experiment. They find new things. And you need exposure. This can be trying real estate, trying marketing, coding, sales, whatever is going to spark your curiosity. Because even if you find something and you try something and you do not love it, at least you are learning about what does not fit for you. And that is just as valuable as finding what does fit. This was a huge lesson for me with investments. I tried various strategies, some that promised high returns but delivered huge losses. Each failure taught me what not to do, which was just as valuable as finding what to do. In my opinion, this is why testing new industries is so important. For example, with me, I do data analytics for the automotive industry. I love cars. Cars are something that I am super passionate about. But if I did data analytics in, I do not know. The food industry, I might not like it as much. But I do know that I like data analytics, right? This is where building those skills also becomes very important. So if you find a job that you really like, but you still think it is not for you, maybe try a different industry. Maybe that same job in a different industry, working for a company that you are actually passionate about, might change your perspective on that job completely. Here is an actionable step that all of you can do starting today. One of the most practical ways to get clarity is to run what people call a career sprint. Pick one area you are curious about. Maybe it is marketing, maybe it is real estate, data visual design, whatever is potentially on your radar. Then commit to spending 30 days diving into it. This could mean taking a short online course and getting a certificate, shadowing or reaching out to someone in the field, meeting with them, seeing what they have to say, volunteering a few hours every week at your local marketing, real estate, data agency, doing a project just for yourself, for your own good, to post it on your LinkedIn, whatever it might be. At the end of those 30 days, ask yourself, did I enjoy this? Did I feel burnt out? Can I see myself doing this until I retire? Even if the answer is no, that is a win, because now you have crossed off one thing off your list, and you are one step closer to finding what actually fits. Think of these sprints as test drives. Most people do not buy a car without test driving it first, so why would you buy into a career without testing it first? Doing a career sprint is one of the easiest and low cost of entry ways into trying a new field, new industry, or new job, because it is something you can do on your own time, in your free time, and you can really figure out if this is something that you can see yourself doing for the long term. This is much like how I now approach investing. I do not just jump in with all my money, I do small, controlled experiments, learning the ropes with minimal risk before committing further. Now, another actionable step that you guys can do is building a career journal. This is for those of you who like to journal. This is definitely for you if you are lost or unsure. Start writing things down from what I have noticed. This is one reason that, for example, I really like my field of data analytics. It is why I am passionate about it, because I think if you can visualize things, it makes information way easier to digest. Create a career journal where you can track 3 things every day for at least 1 month. So for example, what gave me energy today? Did something at work, school, or even in a hobby make you feel alive or passionate about a topic? What drained me? Notice the tasks, the people, or the environments around you that leave you exhausted. Did being on the computer all day drain you or make you lose interest? That could help you find your career or what sparked your curiosity. Is it small things like watching a documentary on a certain industry or hearing about a friend that has a certain job that you would want to know? At the end of the month, review your notes. You will see patterns. Maybe you light up when it comes to solving problems, or you find out that you just hate repetitive tasks. Those patterns are clues, pointing you towards a path that is worth exploring. And what is cool is this also doubles as a portfolio of thoughts. If you land an interview down the line, you will have specific stories about what motivates you and where you thrive. And a lot of interviewers will love that, if you can tie in personal stories about how you are passionate for the job you are interviewing for. Interviewers love that type of stuff. So, that is incredibly valuable. This reflective process was crucial for me after my investment failures. Journaling helped me understand my emotional triggers, my risk tolerance, and what investment strategies truly aligned with my long-term goals rather than just chasing fleeting trends. So, now that we have talked about skills, we have talked about trying a career sprint and being open to discovery and experiments with your career. Now we need to talk about a few other things. First is networking and mentorship. who you know can open doors that your resume alone just will not. Find mentors, join groups, and actually reach out to people in industries that you are curious about. When I was trying to get my corporate job, I would sit on LinkedIn and find recruiters and just message recruiters. I messaged probably 30, 40 recruiters, and I maybe only had one or two respond to me. But that one right connection can completely change your career path. A simple message like, "Hey, I am interested in what you do. Can I buy you a coffee and hear about your journey? Or can I set up a meeting with you?" That can go a long way. And most people, believe it or not, are way more open to talking than you would actually expect, especially if they see a young, passionate, driven person. A lot of people will lean into that and really want to help you out. I found this to be true in the investment community as well. Connecting with experienced investors, even those who had made mistakes, provided invaluable insights that no book or online course could offer. Then, aside from networking and mentorship, we just need to be honest and we need to align our passion with also just life practicality. I am not going to be the person that sits here and says, "All right, go follow your passion," because truthfully, that is probably not realistic. You also need to think about money, right? That is important. We need to live. We need stability. We need opportunity, right? So the real sweet spot is where your interests, your skills, and actual job demand in the market all overlap. You do not want to chase just money alone, because let us be honest, most people that just chase money are truthfully never happy. But you do not also just want to chase a passion that is going to leave you broke and frustrated and not being able to support yourself. So we need to look for that middle ground where we can not only enjoy the work we are doing, but we can pay bills, start a family, and grow long term. This balance is something I learned painfully in my investment journey. Initially, I chased the allure of quick riches, only to realize that true financial well-being comes from a balanced approach that considers both growth and security. The next thing we need to do is build that long-term vision or that plan. Even if it changes, it is powerful to have a vision for yourself. Look, I have done so many different interviews. Every interview always has one question that stays the same, and they all ask you, where would you like to be in 5 years? Out of every interview, that one question has stayed no matter what job I apply for. And it is not just in terms of job title, but lifestyle. In 5 years, do you want freedom? Do you want the freedom to travel every single day, do whatever you want, have no responsibilities? Or do you want long-term stability? Do you value less stress, less anxiety, and hardcore stability over anything else? Or do you want to work for yourself? Do you not want to have to work for a business? Do you want to be able to make your own schedule and choose your own marketing techniques and everything like that? At the end of the day, having a vision is going to give you direction. Obviously, you can adjust as you go. So do not think of it as being locked into one path. But it gives you that course that allows you to at least have a point of reference when it comes to moving along in your career or finding that career path. This is a crucial distinction. In investing, it is important to have a financial plan, but also to be flexible enough to adjust it as market conditions or personal circumstances change. A rigid plan can be just as detrimental as no plan at all. And just because you have a long-term vision or plan set, now you have to always be open to pivoting. One of the most underrated parts of career growth is being flexible enough to pivot. A lot of people get stuck because they think, well, I have already studied for this, or I have already put years into this, so I cannot change. Now, but that is not true. The skills you build do not disappear just because you switch fields, they transfer. Some of the most successful people I know started in one lane and ended up being in a completely different one. So the key is to recognize when a path is not fulfilling you, when you are not happy, when you are burnt out, and there is another opportunity that could lead to better growth. It is having the courage to pivot. So do not let pride or sunk costs lock you into something that just does not fit you anymore. This was a massive hurdle for me to overcome in my investment failures. I held on to losing investments for too long, convinced that they would eventually turn around.